child to fight the monsters I want to see.
Welcome to Gamersledge Podcast, the weekly podcast about video games with news, reviews, analysis, and opinion. Keeping you up to date on how to wisely spend your money for video games, movies, RPGs, comics, books, and more for over 16 years. Find us online at Gamersledge.com. And now, your hosts.
Hello and welcome to Gamersledge Podcast. This is episode 70. I'm your host, Balth/Mark. Come on in, have a Art Nouveau health drink, which is really root beer with half ice shaped like strawberries and half ice shaped like butterflies. Come in and relax. It's a podcast about the video gaming industry. Look at what it means to be a hardcore gamer as well as everything geektastic. Lots of people joining us on the podcast tonight. We'll start all the way at the left with Turo.
I'm muted. Now I'm not muted. I'm not eating Cheez-Its. I'm so sorry. Hello.
And Dave.
Hello.
And Kate.
Hello.
And last but not least, Matt.
Yo.
So, it's been a week since our last podcast. Lots of stuff going on.
Like this great new shirt.
Let's find out about the last week, and we'll start with...
That's cute.
That is a great new shirt. Wait. Show it again, because I want to see what he's trying to grab.
You see it? I mean, this is seriously an awesome shirt.
That's adorable.
What is he trying to grab? I can't.
Probably one of the Infinity Gems.
It kind of looks like an Infinity Gem if it was in the Mario universe.
Okay. All right.
I got a good shirt too. Sailor Moon Power. Let me see my stupid camera. Sailor Moon Powerpuff Girls, right there. Sailor Puff Girls.
Everybody's got a crossover shirt today.
Good old Team Fury and Shirt Punch.
Mine's original Matrix. That's just old school.
Did you get yours at T Fury or Shirt Punch? Or one of those kind of places, Dave?
Oh God, I believe these came from Ripped.
Yeah, Ripped Apparel is one of the other ones.
That was a few days ago on Ripped. That they had a Mario.
There was
Thanos one, Mario one, and.
I'm so mad that I missed. I don't know which one of those sites it was on, but they had a Castlevania box art with Queen Beryl and Sailor Moon instead of Dracula, and it was awesome. And I had no money, and I'm so mad.
Yeah, this was a 3-shirt set. Well, not like a set, but they had they had 3 shirts. There's one that's Star-Lord that's just like this, where he's obviously the Mario one. But it's pretty much the same thing, and he's reaching for a star. And then there's a mashup of Lego and Guardians of the Galaxy, and it has the mixtape in the middle, and it says everything is awesome, and it's got the Guardians characters as Lego around it.
That's cute.
And don't forget that if you want to help support the site, we actually sell Ripped Apparel through the site.
That's where I clicked it through.
I heart you. But yes, if you want to find more shirts like that, I recommend dayoftheshirt.com because it actually collects all of the 24-hour tea places from across the net in one site.
TeePublic is a lot like that too. It's an user upload one, but a lot of the artists who contribute to T Fury, Shirt Punch, T Raiders, Ripped, they upload their stuff there. So, and they have a huge back catalog. So TeePublic, check that one out too.
Oh.
As Crush falls over the crowd.
So, Turo.
Oh, okay, there you are.
Let us start with you.
What is going on with the internet?
I don't know, something wackadoodle going on here.
We'll start with me on what I've been playing.
Yes, what you've been doing for the week.
There we go. Okay. Working nonstop because I'm getting off this weekend for a wedding. So my job is like, oh, okay, we'll give you no free time. But the free time that I have had, I've been playing I did play a little bit of Destiny, and then I went over to Shadow of Mordor on recommendation that Mark made me play it. Just play it. And I like it. It's just the fighting. I thought I was going to have to get used to it. If you played Batman, any of the Batmans, which I played on the hard difficulty, so I didn't even get warnings whether to counter anything. It felt right at home. The fighting was so good. And so if it keeps getting, like, if it's going to be more of that, I'm going to be very happy with the fighting.
If it keeps goodening.
Oh, no, he's going like that. I'd be happy with it.
Yeah.
And then as far as mobile stuff, I've been playing this game from Pickpock. They're the same people that made a couple Adult Swim games. This one's called oh man, it's another puzzle match game, but it's Adventure Express. It's match 3, and my sound's on. There we go, and it's just a really neat little adventure game that you can customize your character.
I feel that you're gonna get us pulled from YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, no. It's just blur it out. It's okay.
No, it's the music that we'll get the violation on.
There was no music. It was just me all along. Sorry. And that's it. That's all the time I've been able to do anything. I watched Annabelle, and I've been watching scary movies here and there. And the review for Annabelle should have been up a long time ago, so I'll do that now.
Perfect. And didn't you get something in the mail as well?
I did. I'm very excited to read it whenever I have free time. But my Volume 1 of Guardians of the Galaxy has come out, and Volume 2 should be coming out in December, and I'm very excited to read it. So, yay!
So, Dave.
Yes.
We did not get a chance to talk about this beforehand, but a game that both you and Matt play was actually yanked this week. Did you happen to see that?
Are you talking about the game I used to play?
Yes,
Tiny
that
Death
is
Star?
correct. That is correct.
Yeah.
Thoughts on that?
I bailed on it a while ago, and when I saw it got yanked, I was just like, huh. So I don't know exactly why it was yanked or if there was an official reason even given.
No, they didn't even inform the creator of the game that they were pulling it.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
And it's not like Apple pulled it off their store. Disney actually pulled it off.
Yeah.
That's
no, because it was gone from both Android and iOS.
Yep. So that's interesting. But what about your week? What did you do this week? Play, etc.
There hasn't been a lot of playtime this week. There's still been, a lot of setup. I did get a chance to catch up on some TV because the TVR was actually starting to build up. So I caught up on Gotham. So I'm all caught up there, and I actually watched the season premiere of Flash. So I thought that was, really good. So when we talk about that, I got a lot to say about that one.
Well, which one do you want to tackle first?
I guess we'll just go with Flash because it's a new hotness. First of all, love the special effects. I love the way they did the Speed Force on it. Like his trails and everything. It's probably the first live action type of show that got it right.
They had a couple Smallville-esque shots in there.
A couple,
but not too bad.
Yeah, I mean overall, especially when he got rolling and they did the real full-on trail and everything like that with the squiggly lines and stuff. I thought it looked really good. So I'm pretty, I can't see people being really pissed off about that. Reference to Grodd.
Does anyone remember the '80s show about the motorcycle that could drive 300 miles an hour?
Oh wait,
Nighthawk. Yeah.
Was it Nighthawk? Was that it?
Pretty sure it was called Nighthawk.
Yeah, I think you're right. They had some very, very Nighthawk-esque running scenes that was just from the camera point of view.
Yeah.
Which always bothered me, even as a kid, when I was watching Nighthawk, because this vehicle that was supposedly going 300 miles an hour would turn a corner straight up as a motorcycle. It wouldn't lean or anything, just straight up around the corner. I'm like, I don't think that's right. But yeah, there was some. I really liked all the nods, but I really like the ending, which we should not talk about.
No.
The interesting thing about that is that every tease that we got from a comics perspective, they have promised will be delivered on, including the last one.
Nice.
Well, there was an article out today about Wentworth Miller, and it showed images of him as Captain Cold. It's not spoilers; it's everywhere.
I didn't see it.
Oh, well, were you not on Facebook? Because 10 people posted it on their walls, just on my friends alone.
I just assumed he didn't see it, so I didn't want to ruin it for him.
Yeah, no.
Sorry.
But I want to see a big old gorilla. That's all I want to see. I'm really
I want to
happy.
see Mirror Master. Mirror Master is my favorite of the Flash rogues, so I can't wait to see him.
Well, I've already seen my favorite one, so that's good. He was
Who's your favorite one?
he's
Weather
very
Wizard?
prominent. No, I'm not going to spoil it for anybody who's.
Okay, we'll talk about it when we end the podcast.
He was very heavily prominent and prominently displayed in several flashbacks. That's the best way to say it.
Yeah. I really liked it too. I thought it was kind of a nice difference from Arrow and Gotham, which are kind of the two other comic book TV shows, in that it was very, because the Flash is that way anyway. It was a lot lighter and not as grim Batman voice. Because that's the way the Flash is, right? He's a hero in his city. He doesn't have to hide in the shadows, and so it's a nice contrast compared to those other Arrow and Gotham.
Right,
So,
and he's also supposed to be the bright, shiny center of the universe as far as superheroes go.
I really, it just came at the perfect time where they have Gotham introduced as well. So it's two kind of different takes on the comic book TV show going on at the same time, which is nice. And I like the guy who they've got playing him. He's kind of properly dorky, but still realistically heroic. And I actually really like the racial change on Iris. I thought that was kind of cool. And I like Jesse L. Martin. I always liked him on Law & Order back when he was on that, so that was a cool casting.
Yeah, they had some good
There
lines
was something
in it
you
and everything.
said a couple of weeks. There were things that you said a few weeks back, Kate, that I really heard you say it again as I was watching the show, and that was that you were looking for something that had a police procedural feel to it.
That's Gotham.
Well, yeah, but it's also the Flash. If you watch it was it was almost Sherlock-esque.
Mm-hmm.
How they showed Barry's thought patterns. So I was pretty pleased with that. I hope we see more of that, but I'm really afraid it's going to fall into a Smallville Monster of the Week kind of thing. I hope they not. Yeah, I hope they don't do that. I don't want to see.
They're so setting that up, though.
They sure are.
Really setting it up, yeah.
That's. I don't think we can get away with that early on. I'm not sure if I dig the idea that everything was created by the accident that created him. But hey, whatever.
Well, I don't know if Gorilla Grodd could, if they do Gorilla Grodd. And there's no reason they. Yeah, there's no
there's no way they will.
And if you look at the new Planet of the Apes movies, there's no reason why it can't look awesome. But that seems like something that would take a lot of time.
Yeah.
So that might be something like a nefarious plan that's in the works, but we won't see for a while.
I see. All I will say is that. I checked out an interview with Johns and the full-time writer and a couple of the cast members, and they very much hinted at a character that I absolutely love because he is the worst screw-up in the world. Who is
Captain Boomerang?
Nope, who is a time traveler, and I will leave it at that. That very good chance that we will see him.
Boomerang is a big screw-up, though.
Yeah, no, but this is a time traveler, a time-traveling screw-up. So I'm looking forward to...
Is Booster Gold finally going to be on TV?
So yeah, I'm not going to say who it is, but I think
Booster Gold.
He didn't deny it, so that's who it is.
Anyhow, yeah. So yeah, I actually enjoyed it. It felt a little rushed for an hour, but they were trying to get a whole hell of a lot of stuff in there.
They
Yeah.
did jam a lot in there, and it was great to see Ed back. Wait, is that right? Yeah, he was Ed, right?
You're talking about
Ed. Wait, damn it. The guy that's playing the professor.
Ted Kavanaugh.
Yeah, that's it.
yes,
Wasn't he on that show where he was the guy Ed?
yes, but his dad was the former Flash, right? I'm pretty sure that was his dad.
Really?
Yeah, there was the guy in the original Flash
Yeah.
TV show.
John Wesley Shipp. He was the Flash in the '90s, short-lived adaptation.
Which I really liked that show too. So
Yeah, it was a good show for the time.
We need to get Mark Hamill in this somehow.
why do you want to screw it up?
What are you talking about?
All right, so that was the Flash. Let's talk about Gotham.
Gotham. I am firmly Team Penguin in the Gotham.
Yay!
So
That
did
is-
you? Yeah, all right, now that you're caught up, I still haven't seen any of them. I haven't had a chance to watch them yet. But
Okay.
You
Um,
fail.
do you like the show, or do you think it's okay?
You know something? With the whole Penguin arc, I am actually going to say I'm a big fan. I'm a fan of the show. I really like what they're doing with that. I've always kind of liked the Penguin as the mob boss, you know, kind of more serious, you know, take on the Penguin and everything. So I kind of like where they're going with this. And they're just the actor they have playing him. He's just doing a really good job. He's got the whole creepy thing going. I really like it. It's great.
I think the acting on that show is pretty awesome, or like across the board.
It's well above what it probably should be, but they have a really solid cast. I love who they have play. Oh God.
Donald Logue.
Yeah.
Little geeky tidbit for Donald Logue. He was the cop in the very famous X-Files episode Squeeze.
No kidding.
So go watch it.
I have to go back and rewatch that one.
He's much younger and does not have facial hair.
Yeah, no kidding.
But he's excellent. Ben
Matt,
McKenzie's great.
Matt, are you caught up on Gotham yet?
He's on.
Yeah, I am. I haven't been talking because you guys are really laggy to me, so I don't know if it's me or the whole thing or what.
No, it's the same for me too.
Okay. Yeah, I'm caught up. I actually just caught up last night. Watched all 3 episodes thus far. I would agree that the casting was very well done. The roles all seem to fit. I'm not completely enamored with the show. I think Fish Mooney is a completely by the numbers character, aside from the fact that she has breasts. I don't see why everyone's going gaga over that character. Potential, yeah, but so far nothing. It's a by the number mobster. Not impressing me.
I kind of have to agree with that. I'm hoping there's going to be like more coming out of it, since they seem to be setting up like the big mob war, you know, kind of thing.
Right.
So I'm hoping that's what brings out, you know, something worthwhile. But otherwise, it is like you said, paint by numbers.
And who's playing Fish Mooney?
Jada Pinkett Smith.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Okay.
And the only other real complaint.
She still does not look like Jada Pinkett Smith to me.
She doesn't. No, I keep on thinking it's Halle Berry or something like that. It doesn't look
The
like.
hair, maybe.
Maybe that's what it is. I'm not sure. I do like the nod to the fact that it's a wig though, because she sits there
But
in
they
a
all look alike to you, Matt.
Oh.
No, I'm just saying she doesn't look like Jada. My
She's
brain
doing
sees
something different with her face, like her jawline. There's something different going on.
It's got to be
She's
the makeup.
old?
I'm guessing, but
Or she's old. Which
No,
she
it's
is.
like-
like
that too.
it's almost like she's got like like a wad of big league chew or something.
She
Like
might just
she's-
be jutting her jaw out.
I think that's what I think she's actually doing that. Like she's doing something with her like jaw or something. She doesn't not
trying
look
to
like
make it.
Maybe she's practicing I'm pissed at Will face.
The only other thing that bugs me, and Kate kind of alluded this in her reviews now that I've had a chance to read through them quick, but the Gordon has the most constipated face I've ever seen in a show since Chloe on 24. Dude's got his face scrunched up like every other shot, which I understand he's going through emotional struggle and stuff, but...
Well, when you're that straight-laced, you usually have a log in you the size of a brick.
But yeah, the overall, there's some minor inconsistencies that bug me. I'm a little worried that they're relying too heavily on the Penguin too early on, and it's going to burn out. I have some concerns about the show, but I'm still enjoying it enough to keep watching it. So.
Well, I'm in love with it. I think it's great. Like I said, I think the acting is great across the board. Even like the quote unquote like monster of the week episode, which would be like the criminal of the week. I was just like, as soon as it showed what it was, I'm not going to say because Mark hasn't watched it, but I don't know. I live by the 2-day spoiler rule for TV, so if you haven't seen it in 2 days, that's TS for you. But I won't. So the way he killed people was, I just like kind of laughed. I was like, that's so Gotham. Like, even before Batman, it's just like, people just kill people in ridiculous ways. It's always been that way.
Hashtag that's so Gotham.
I said that in my Reddit. I was like, oh man, that's so Gotham.
But what the funny thing was when I was read it, I wasn't sure if she was being like amused
No, I was being very genuine.
or sarcastic or what it was.
I thought it was great because it's like, oh man, that's so Gotham.
So what you guys are saying, I should really start watching the show then.
Yeah, you should.
You should. I'm actually surprised. I was very much in the camp that I was not going to like the show.
That's how I feel like.
I was pretty convinced. I was just like, this is really going to be dumb. I don't know why everybody's freaking out over this. And then, first episode, I was like, all right, I'll keep watching. Second episode, I'm like, all right, this is pretty good. Third episode, I'm like, all right, I'm really digging this.
Nice.
So
right.
that brings up a point. That brings up a point. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, you're not. You're good. Go.
All right. It brings up a point. I saw something on the Facebook right before the show where it was a news article that CW, on the huge success of Flash, CW is considering another DC-based show, which they probably had to have been before this anyway, but when does one episode make a successful series? I've run into this now a lot. Now,
when you get more than 1.5 million people to watch it?
Well, I get it. It was the #1 show, but okay.
You need to see what the second week drop-off is.
I mean, there are people who haven't watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because they didn't like the first episode, and that's just stupid. And now it's like, this is going to be the best TV show ever after one episode. I don't know. It's insanity to me. I give any show at least...
I think it's jumping the gun a little bit. You have to give it at least 5 or 6 episodes, or even sometimes a season, because sometimes a show is finding its ground in the first season. And, I mean, look at The Simpsons way back in season 1. Like, season 1 of The Simpsons sucks. And if it hadn't been given a chance, we wouldn't have had, season 3 to season, 10 or 11, which were still some of the best things ever on television.
Man, but I love the references they make to how old and weird they look back then.
Yeah.
It's so funny when they do that. God.
But if that show hadn't been given a chance, we would have missed all of that. Because a lot of the time, or Cheers was like that, and Hill Street Blues was like that. They were dead last in the ratings, and the NBC exec at the time said, no, we'll give them a chance. And, I mean, they were Cheers and Hill Street Blues.
Those days
I know.
When it wasn't about
It's just
money.
frustrating, though, because if I had judged Fringe on the pilot, I would have never watched Fringe, because I hated the pilot.
Right.
And it's one of my favorite shows ever.
I loved all of it.
But that's the way things are. But then, now, also today, you're also getting, there's weird third parties jumping into the mix, which are doing crazy things. Like, Patrick Warburton is going to be the Tick again.
Thank goodness.
How awesome is that? And Bette Edlund's going to be involved in the writing. And, it's going to show up on Amazon Prime streaming. That's a wonderful world we live in. when
So
that
was
can
there
happen.
any reference to which DC series it would be?
No, none directly.
What are the guesses?
Honestly, I
Lantern?
didn't read the whole thing, so I'm not sure if
Green
they got
Lantern
around to
would be
guessing or
awesome.
not.
No, I
Anybody
think that
catch the Justice League pilot?
no, because they'll save that for the movies.
See, I
Anybody-
think Green Lantern
I-
would be a much better TV show than it was a movie because there's a lot of different stuff
Material.
going on. Yeah, there's so much different material from different places. So kind of like an episodic serial kind of suits that a lot better. And I think a Green Lantern TV series would be wicked. I mean, I don't know what other series they could do.
What I think would be
Wonder Woman?
much better, no, what would be much better to combat Agent Carter on ABC is they actually do a JSA TV series, a Golden Age JSA TV series, period piece. That would be amazing. You get
Oh,
Sandman, Miracle Man, you get the whole JSA together, the Spectre. Introduce all these people to these awesome characters that no one's ever seen, except unless they've read the comics, and you do it right. And I think you could have an amazing thing to combat Agent Carter's period piece that's going to be on ABC.
That's an interesting idea.
Yeah, except it's going to be Lobo.
I will not watch that. I loathe that character.
You know what? I could see it on a different network, not on the CW. CW is all about, yeah, well, I just shot my own theory out of the water there, too.
If they do soft introduce that one character you were referring to in Flash, I honestly think I would think it would be that character in Blue Beetle.
I think that would be hilarious, and we should do that. That I approve of that message because that would be.
Did anybody
I would
catch
watch that
the Justice League pilot they did in '97?
97? Wow, no.
Yeah, apparently in 1997 there was a pilot made for a Justice League TV show. I think maybe it was NBC or something like that. My God, like
Is this the one that was like the original Fantastic Four movie bad?
Dude, yeah, it's there. All right,
Wow.
guess what Green Lantern they put on the team?
Jon Stewart?
No, that would be good.
Guy
Come on, there's
Gardner?
Thank you. Guy Gardner is the
And
lantern.
his giant portrait collar.
Yeah, that's the lantern they choose. But of course, he looked like Kyle Rayner, so like you couldn't figure out what was going on. Like I thought it was that, and then on the show, like I was watching, I watched a review of it because honestly, if you watch the real thing, I think you just like your brain just shuts off or something. It is awful. It is the worst thing ever.
You know, God bless the internet, because when I was like, I don't know, 3 or 4, I remember seeing a Justice League on the television, live action with Adam West as part of the crew. And it had Shazam and I think Black Canary and a couple others. And for years and years and years, I thought it was crazy because nobody else ever saw this thing. But it turns out that they did do this like one-off thing that I happened to see live on TV, that where they got, it was like a roast actually, like the Shazam and the rest of them were roasting Batman.
Wow.
And everybody was high as a kite.
Oh yeah, it's not good. I went back and I watched it. I'm like, that should never be.
I do have to thank the internet for one part. Everyone thought I was crazy because in the Goonies, the movie, I kept talking about this octopus scene that no one ever heard of. And I must have seen it on VHS or something. And I'm like, no, serious, there's an octopus. And they put the tape and he dances away. And they thought I was crazy. I was like, no, I love the Goonies. I know what I'm talking about. And then
No, I'm
whenever
pretty sure you're crazy.
no, you YouTube it. Just put Goonies octopus and there it is. And I'm like, yes.
I don't want
Was it
that
crazy?
in my search history results, thanks.
It's uploaded by Toro. It's just a fan film he did.
It's like, this is exactly how I remember it. I love it. I'm not crazy, so thank you, internet, for.
You're just,
The other awesome thing, Kyoto
I'm pretty
made
sure
Ninja Turtles figures.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
look, you can put the sai in his knuckles. Just like, look at that.
Far away.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Wait, if you put the sai in his knuckles, does he do Gangnam Style in his hands?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Are you sure?
Nope, he doesn't.
You sure?
No, I am sure he does not.
All right.
That was awful. You don't disrespect my feeling like that.
Is there anything else that you did or watched this week, sir?
And I watched the movie Chef, which is
And how was
amazing. It's amazing. I saw the movie twice in the theater. That's that's actually a movie that made me see it more than once in a theater. There's that and Guardians of the Galaxy. So, yeah, it's just a really enjoyable, solid movie. And if you love cooking or anything like that, it's just like they do like all this stuff with like way they're making stuff. It just looks awesome. And you can tell it's just Jon Favreau having a bunch of fun. You can tell he called in all kinds of favors because there's all these great stars in the movie. Working with them, some great scenes. It's just a really solid flick. You can tell just everybody loved making it. It's just one of those special little movies, I think, that's definitely worth checking out. And I picked up that, God, I forget the original name because they hide it so well in the packaging. It's called Live, Die, Repeat now. Edge of Tomorrow, I think was the original title.
Edge of Tomorrow, yeah.
So I can't wait to see that.
That one was actually pretty good. I think I gave that an A-.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people like that, and I was really upset. Matter of fact, it was after I read your review.
I still hate Tom Cruise, but that was a decent movie.
I don't know. He wanted me back.
Screw this. We're
going
going to Skype next week. God damn it. I hate Google Hangouts. Never mind.
You sure it's Google Hangouts? I mean, everybody else is fine.
Ask Matt if everybody else is fine.
Oh, okay. So, I'm sorry.
Anything else that you watched this week or played? Did you play any Destiny?
No, I didn't get a chance to play anything this week. It was work, and I had to do stuff after work, so I've had no time. And I had to clear out the DVR, so I just did that instead. But I look forward to that next week.
Kate,
Mm-hmm.
how was your week?
Well, I didn't do much gaming. The biggest notable thing is I actually traded in Destiny for credit towards The Evil Within. Like, I knew it was not my game. I expected, I guess, more Mass Effect than World of Warcraft, and it just, wasn't... I just was not looking forward to playing it whenever it was like, I feel like playing something. I was like, oh, Destiny. So I traded it in for credit towards The Evil Within, which I know is way more up my alley. So I played a little bit of Dead Space 3 because I got back to that playthrough. Played a little bit more of Sailor Dash. I've leveled up Sailor Moon and Sailor Mercury. I still haven't even gotten to the mid-bosses yet. I keep dying. There isn't many people on the internet who have gotten past to the main boss sort of thing. More than that, I watched The Flash, and I watched, of course, Gotham, and I put up the weekly review of Face Off. I did that to the website today.
Thank you.
I put the new Sailor Moon episode came out the previous weekend. It won't be this weekend because it's on an every other week schedule. It was a much more solid episode than the one before it, because the one before it had really weird direction. But this one actually made me like Tuxedo Mask, who's a character that I have always hated. So I thought it was a very solid episode. If you're not watching it, check it out on Hulu or Crunchyroll or whatever. And since it's October, I'm still watching a horror movie every day.
What have you seen so far?
What?
What have you seen so far?
Let me pull it up.
See, I told you it's not just me.
I watched, well, right now I'm near the end. It's paused because I was like, oh, god damn it, the stupid podcast is starting. I want to watch the end of this movie. But it's called Absentia. It's really engrossing. It's about people who vanish into this tunnel in this neighborhood in Los Angeles. And it's kind of just like right at the end of the apex thing. And it was just like, I was looking at the clock and it was just, oh my god, an hour of this movie's already gone by. And then it was like, oh, there's not enough time to watch the end. So I kind of can't wait for this to end so I can go.
I saw a really good one on Netflix. I've been seeing the DVD everywhere, but Rigor Mortis.
I haven't heard of that one.
It's on Netflix. I almost bought it because it just looks awesome, and what it describes as is pretty neat. So when I saw it on Netflix, I was like, sweet, I don't have to buy it. Say what?
What's kind of like the tag of it, like the premise?
Movie star moves into this building, or a former movie star moves into this building, and a bunch of weird stuff happens.
Is this Rigor Mortis Slaves to the Grave?
No. It's a foreign film. It's called Rigor Mortis, I think.
Came out in 2013?
Say what?
Came out in 2013?
Yes.
Okay.
I recommend that one as one of your movies in the day, because it was very...
Downloading it now.
Strange, and it was very good. I liked it. I put it on my list to buy. That's how much I liked it.
Downloading it now. What else have we watched? Wolf Creek and Wolf Creek 2.
Yay!
They're Australian movies based on events, very loosely based on real events. Because I did look up the real crimes, and the movie is not really like them at all. But yeah, just the panoramic shots of the Outback are just awesome, even just for that price of admission, let alone a pretty decent horror movie with a, memorable villain. Crocodile Dundee goes serial killer sort of thing. But the panoramic shots of the Wolf Creek crater, which is the second largest meteorite crater in the world, are actually really, really, really beautiful. So even just for that, I was just like, wow, that's really cool looking. I want to, go there someday, but everything in Australia wants to kill you. So, what else did I watch? I'm gonna pull up my list. Just give me 1 second here. Yeah, this Absentia movie is really, really great. Watched a couple of mediocre ones. One called 12. It's XII. It's so the Roman numeral for 12. It's about a guy who went to prison for, crimes against children, so he ended up getting prison justice, having his face ripped off, and he gets out of jail and goes after the jury that put him in prison. So it's very, very typical slasher kind of horror movie that's like, sort of like one of those ideas that is probably the first one that people are like, oh, why don't we do a guy who kills the jury? Put him there. It's like one of those first ideas that you get for a horror movie. I saw a really low-budget one called All Hallows Eve. It was about this babysitter who was babysitting these two kids who went trick-or-treating, and one kid found a VHS movie in his trick-or-treating bag, and it was pretty but it had a clown in it, and that's just all they wrote. My coulrophobia was just like, ugh. And for those who don't know, coulrophobia is fear of clowns. I don't like clowns at all. And I saw a movie called Pathology. It was all right. I started that one brother, the younger brother from Heroes. He was like a forensic pathology student, and the cruel kids had this clique of they'd commit murders and try and make it so a medical examiner couldn't figure out how they died. So they'd be trying to get the perfect murder, so it would just look like an accident in an autopsy report. It was okay. That's pretty much all I've watched right now. I kind of got a little behind, so I did 2 today, and I might do 2 tomorrow too. Mortal Kombat Quan Chi was revealed. So he's like my second favorite character. I always lean towards the female. So my first favorite character in Mortal Kombat is Melina. But I love Quan Chi. He's like my second favorite character. And in the video that NetherRealm Studios released, his teleporting X-ray move was so awesome. was just like, that's so sick. So I can't
That's
wait.
fine. What bothered me was the not even fully revealed, but beginnings of his fatality. I almost did a Freudian slip right there.
Uh,
'Cause
That looked awesome.
I'm not really. I think that made me very uncomfortable.
I thought it was very sexy.
No, I can't agree with you on that one. That's
Sword swallowing makes you uncomfortable.
uh,
Maybe it really is some Freudian issues going on there.
everyone on the internet said the exact same thing, so I'm pretty sure that I'm not the only one who saw that. So
Was
we'll
it just about straight guys who said it?
I don't know, but I don't think anyone of any persuasion would want to do that to a sword.
I don't
all I'm
know. I
saying.
kind of think it's funny if you think that's uncomfortable and yet you're okay with all the other fatalities. I mean, some of those are really, really brutal, so it's kind of like, a little hilarious if that's the one that makes you uncomfortable. But, like, his teleporting moves were wicked. Like, where he was, like, almost like Portal, where he's just, like, stabs in the hole and the sword's, like, on the other side of the screen stabbing Kano, or he, like, kicks through it and his foot goes through. But that teleport X-ray move was just awesome. And him coming and riding on that big giant beast, I hope that's a fatality at some point. Like a trampling or, something with that giant whatever he was riding.
So there were two things that I immediately noticed, and the first one is I started singing Bat Dance as soon as I saw he had a bat stance, and secondly, that bat stance is useless. I would so use the misdirection stance more than I would the bat stance ever, but I would be interested. I think he'll be a very popular character simply because his moves are going to be so hard to read with that all the.
Oh yeah, with the teleportation, it'll be so unpredictable.
Yep.
And he's just sexy, so.
Yep,
He's in my small category of Pinhead and Voldemort and Quan Chi, like these weird, fucked up looking guys that's are super sexy to me.
That's a whole nother level of stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in my brain.
Oh man, that's like, I've never been to that area of video games. This is all new to me.
Or Pyramid Head in Silent 2.
So did you manage to watch or? Oh, sorry.
No?
Go ahead. I'm a little bit behind you guys apparently.
Well, yeah, I was also saying Pyramid Head in Silent Hill 2 also fits into there. I have a plan to get a Pinhead and Pyramid Head on my fandom arm, where right now there's just a dark mark and a Wonder Woman tattoo, but
I have a friend getting a Freddy Krueger tattoo on his arm right now. Like, as we speak, it's happening. Yeah. He's putting updates on Facebook. Very cool. Go for it.
I need the money first.
So what else did you play or watch?
Nothing. Nothing.
All right, so then that brings us.
Oh, sorry. How to Get Away with Murder. I watched the second episode of that. It's a solid show. So, check that one out if you're interested on Thursdays.
Watch that too.
And I posted a review of Grace Point on Thursday, which was the day after last week's podcast. So that was solid. I haven't seen Broadchurch, and I'm not going to watch it until after Grace Point's over because I want to judge Grace Point on its own merits.
There you go. Matt, are you with us? Do we need to hold a seance?
I don't know, maybe. Actually, I've been dropping myself because it gets to the point where all I hear could just as well be binary data traffic. It's all just beeps and squeaks. So
delicious.
Yeah, exactly. So, hiya, how's everybody today?
Hi, good.
Yep.
Did you get a chance to play anything this week? I don't think you did, but
not much. I did play. I played a microsecond of Destiny when I thought somebody was going to be playing something, and turned out they were just coming on to muck with their gear. But so I bailed out of that, and I jumped into First Light, So I've been putting off finishing the story mode, trying to get some of the challenges finished on First Light. That's the infamous fetch game. But I'm trying to figure out. It seems to me like I'm either doing something incredibly wrong, or it's one of those things you'll hit a groove and everything will go right, and you'll get all of the achievements for the challenges in like one go. I've looked at like the top scores, and I have no idea how those people did that. I mean, obviously they have way more time and effort to devote to this than I do, but I can barely break 200,000 points, and there's people in one run that get like 14 to 50 million points.
They don't have children or sex lives, probably.
Yeah, or jobs or something. I don't know, because it's just, man, I play for like 20 minutes, and if I get over 150,000 points on one round, I'm feeling like I did a pretty dang good job. So, that's really about all the playing I've done. I hadn't heard that about Tiny Death Star. I still play usually at least once or twice a day, reset all my stuff and levels and stuff. So I've nowhere near hit the cap. I've gotten to a point where I don't get enough people to fill my levels to fill all the stores, so I've just been sitting stagnant for probably a month now, or maybe longer.
Yeah, that's where I started getting, and that's when I kind of gave up on it. Because I was playing it, I was just like, okay, I'm not going to get people for these things, so I'm done.
Yeah. I don't know, I just do it because it's something, it's the equivalent of my smoke break at work. I step off and I reset all my levels, and then I go back to work. Let's see, so playing-wise, that's about it. TV-wise, I finished up the last season of Under the Dome. We watched the first 3 episodes of Gotham, watched the premiere of Flash, watched this week's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.,
let's talk about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is still going strong. They're definitely, they set the bar high with the end of last season, and met or exceeded it with the premiere, depending on how you feel about a few things. And this season, so far, all the way up through episode 3, they've kept the intensity, they've kept the storyline. I mean, they've got an awesome cast of writers. I mean, they have got just awesome writers on this show. They know their genre, they know their audience, and they know their characters, and it just shows. Obviously,
I really felt. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I'm apparently behind again.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that I really like the direction that each of the characters, the journey that they seem to be taking them down. Really strong writing for every single character. There's not anybody that I feel is getting neglected in pushing a story forward and developing those characters thoroughly. This was probably my first episode where I felt there was a real oh shit moment, and that's when a certain person finds another certain person, and I was like, oh, this is not going to be good, and I really liked this last episode.
That was a very poignant scene. I mean, all the scenes with one of the characters, which I guess gives it away if you have any continuity with this podcast at all, have been incredibly poignant, just amazingly acted, amazingly well written, and that particular scene, I literally leaned forward and was like on the edge of my chair while that scene was going on. And the other thing, along with, like you said, no character being neglected, they're all being well developed, and it feels natural. It's natural. You know, that's one thing. Lots of times when you get a season transition, the transition for especially the first to second season, it doesn't necessarily feel like the characters naturally developed. It feels like they were forced into a position. Like the second season of Arrow, the main lead female love interest character, whose name is escaping me at the moment. Her character changed so drastically, and it just felt really forced. I mean, there was a reason for it, but it didn't feel natural. all of the characters' developments, including the character who we had the big reveal about this week, which I saw that coming a mile away, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, they're avoiding the sophomore slump. I mean, the thing you were talking about with this, like a lot of the second season usually feels forced and stuff, is a lot of the times it's them trying to shoehorn public opinion into their storyline instead of just following a storyline kind of thing. And that's why a lot of shows go into sophomore slump. It's not just like an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. sort of thing. They're lucky that they're not falling into it, but a lot of shows do.
Yeah, no, they've been able to avoid that, and I think whether it's because they've got Joss giving them top cover, or it's because the whole Disney Marvel Studios is behind them 100% of the way where the whole enterprise is going. Yeah, they're just being allowed to write the characters and write the stories that feel natural and evolve naturally out of the universe that they're in. So
I'm just gonna say one thing about Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and come out of the closet. I've only seen the first 2 episodes of season 1.
So this is very much like a Dollhouse. Did you watch Dollhouse?
Yes.
No, I'm asking Kate.
Oh.
No.
Yes.
Okay, so Dollhouse, literally the first 6 episodes, I was scratching my head going, why am I watching this show? And then, like, yeah, no, that's not a reason. I don't like her, honestly. So that was
you
even
shut your
bigger,
dirty whore mouth right now.
It was a bigger strike against the show because I don't really like her. But then in that next episode, everything that they'd been building to clicked, and that's the exact same way with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I would say it's almost like, 9 episodes in?
I think honestly, I saw it from the beginning, so I don't know why. I just always saw where it was, not exactly where it was going, but I saw where they were going to go with it, and that carried me through. I thought it was good the whole time because I felt like I knew where they were going, and I happened to be right. I think it really started to click probably somewhere between episodes 7 to 9. And then obviously
Soldier was introduced?
No, it's before that. Right after the Thor episode, the Thor tie-in. The Thor tie-in was horrible.
Yeah, it was.
And right after that's where everything all of a sudden just kind of and we were off to the races. Obviously, with the Winter Soldier tie-in, that's where everyone got on board and went, and ever since it's been.
I'm sorry, what were they like?
That's the exact quote. I remember.
Sound like a South Park character.
I know. Did they get their jobs? All right.
The goobacks.
You're not my buddy friend. Okay.
Not my buddy, pal.
Yeah, my friend, buddy.
So I'm really digging it. I think if anyone has even an interest, really, I would say I don't think it's on Netflix yet, is it?
It's available by other means that I'm currently using.
Hulu or the borrowing from
ABC.com.
The opinions expressed on
ABC.com
Gamersledge
had all of season
podcast do
one.
not
Does it still have
necessarily
all of
reflect
season
those of
one?
GameStop.
I don't know.
Okay. But anyway, I would definitely say you need to see at least the latter half of season 1 to really get where season 2 is.
See, I wouldn't skip over the middle because there is character growth in there that makes a whole hell of a lot more sense if you actually saw the middle, even though they're not there. Yeah. So I wouldn't skip over it.
I wouldn't either. Bare minimum. I'm saying bare minimum. But yeah, I would say there's a lot of stuff there that set the grounds for. Yes, it does go villain of the week. It's a convenient format to teach you about the world. Maybe that's just an apologist in me, but it is. It's the same thing.
Sometimes the Monster of the Week episodes are the best ones. I always thought the Monster of the Week episodes were the best ones on the X-Files.
Yeah, it was a format that worked really well there, and I don't know that X-Files.
Savage Land, so.
Yeah. So anyway, I highly recommend it, especially if you're into the Marvel movies. If you liked Winter Soldier and what that did to the Marvel universe, this is really the continuation of that story. So.
Did you manage to view anything else of import?
Yeah. Doctor Who, apologize for the delay in the reviews. We're 2 weeks behind. I'll be taking over full-time writing on those, so I will get those up this week. I'll probably have almost 3 back-to-back with the past 2 weeks and then this upcoming week's. This week's episode, this last Saturday's episode, I really liked up until the last 5 minutes.
Did he use an arrow? That's all I want to know.
Did he use an arrow?
Right, because we don't have.
But for that, the Sherwood episode, no,
Yeah.
the Sherwood Forest episode. No.
Okay.
There was no crazed arrow shooting. Yeah, that episode I think at this point is the low light of the series so far. So we've got to go up from there, I think. This is a substandard season, and I know Turo, you're probably disagreeing with me there. Unfortunately, Daniel and I think we're a little too like-minded on where this has been going. Although since the episodes have been not Moffat-specifically written episodes, they've been getting better. This last episode, like I said, up until the last 5 minutes, where the Doctor at the end is bewildered, and I think I'm just as bewildered as he is at the end, because it just makes no sense.
I can't wait for that. I really hope it all makes sense later. Yeah, I haven't seen it. I will.
Yet, no.
I'll be watching it tonight, but
So
I want it to all make sense. I want it to just be like, oh.
I will be interested in hearing your perspective on it, because I know I don't know. But
You're just hating on Capaldi because he's like not young and cute.
I have no problem with the Doctor.
Matt actually does not have he doesn't have any type of on for Matt Smith. No.
I have absolutely no problem with Capaldi. I love Capaldi, and I think if they would let him loose, he would be amazing Doctor. Right now they're caging him, and it's ticking me off. Mark, go.
I don't have a problem with Capaldi. It's the way that they're writing him. He's grumpy, he's mean, he's an asshole, and to be honest, there's no joy or love in him. And it's I think part of the reason I liked Matt Smith was because he was not stupid goofy, but he at least allowed his inner child to come out every once in a while. This guy's just a jerk. And
I think the Doctor normally is a jerk.
No, I don't think that that's the case at all.
I think he's a kind-hearted and he wants to help, but he's going to be a jerk about it.
Well,
but that's not even coming through. All that's coming through is he's just an asshole.
Well, and it's gotten better in the last 2 episodes. I think I personally see that spark coming through more in the last 2 episodes. His interaction with the kid whose name is escaping me, Melanie Woods. Is that her name?
Yeah, I think so.
The student from the school. You start to see some of that come back, and you start to see some of that come back in different ways. Although I do think, and I don't remember how much of this I said last week, so somebody shut me up if I'm just repeating myself. But I do think that there is a thread here that is not being presented well enough, but it's really as was stated in the I think it was the Day of the Doctor. I mix up all those titles on which one was which.
The day, the night, the time.
The day, the night, the time, the hour, the menstrual period, the whatever. Was basically.
I don't think I saw that one.
There was the Doctor who had regretted. There was the Doctor who forgot, and the Doctor who forgave and forgot. And basically kind of setting it up that everyone since the War Doctor has basically been like a stage of grief, right? It has been this personality that he's put on to get through what happened during the Time War. And he's past all that now. He's past his grief. He's put it behind him. He is past all of that.
But he's not doing anything.
But who is he now? Who is he? He's been all these people. He's done all these things. But who is he now? And I think he's going through that period of self-exploration.
No, I think it's bullshit because they presented a clear path for him. They presented the path of what he should be coming into this season, and they gave us the promise of him actually going to do what he discovered in the end of the Day of the Doctor, and he's not doing it. It's like
I think that's they botched that with the final episode. That's the thing. They totally botched that. They set that up awesome, and then they came into the final episode of Matt Smith's run, and they really just shot it with a freaking rocket launcher. So I'm a little more upset. At the beginning of this season, he said, I've done things wrong, and it's time I started making up for it.
Right.
That's the thing that they haven't even tried to do.
Right.
So that's confusing me.
Yeah, and I mean, I get that there was supposed to be some kind of amnesia ray kind of thing, which is why none of the three of them remember anything. But, you know, he had 800 years on that planet in the last episode. You'd have thought that, hell, you would have thought that Clara would have reminded him in one way or another. And I still hate Clara, by the way. But still, I mean, it's not... I don't know what the fuck they're doing. I don't know what their direction is, because it's not being conveyed in any way, shape, or form that's interesting.
No, it's not. And that is... I mean, I'm inferring a lot, and maybe I'm just making it up, and that's helping me enjoy it because I'm looking at it through a certain lens.
Next episode.
But there's the other thing. If they don't change this in the next companion, I may stop watching Doctor Who over this. Just go with the Doctor. This back and forth, having a real life, running around with the Doctor BS it just doesn't work. It destroys the flow of the show.
Yeah, and that was why I loved the run with Matt Smith and Amy Pond and Rory, because they did it, and they did it well. We don't need to retread it again, which is exactly what they're doing. It's like they're not even trying to write anything original. I mean, we even saw that in the first episode and the second episode. I mean, they're just calling on the past instead of doing anything original. It's kind of pissing me off a little bit.
I don't look to Doctor Who for a lot of originality, so I guess it doesn't bother me as much. But that's just me. But other than that, let's see. And that's most of what it was. Under the Dome, I think, is if it comes back for a third season, I will probably fall over and not know what to do.
I heard it went complete. I watched the first season and liked it.
First season was fine. I liked it.
Yeah, I heard the second season went completely off the rails.
The second season went. You don't even know where the rails were anymore. By the end of it, I'm like, okay, the ending was very King. I'll give it that. The way they ended season 2 was very Stephen King. I will give it that. The journey from A to B, hoot. So and then it's revealed the entire 2 seasons takes place over 2 weeks. Really, it's only been 2 weeks?
That was a busy first season. That's all.
That was a busy first week. So I don't know. I think if they come back for a third season and they don't get their poop in a row, it's not going to be something I'm going to be able to keep watching. It was a nice off-season distraction, but there are so many off-season distractions now that.
Did you watch or play anything else, Matt?
Probably, but I can't think of it. Star Wars Rebels, Spark of the Rebellion. Watch
Good.
that.
Different.
I throw a number on it right now. I'd say somewhere between 7, 5, 8.
Okay.
There's some weird animation stuff going on. Hopefully that'll get cleaned up as they get further into the show. The regular season picks up on Disney XD on this coming Monday on the 13th. The story was decent. The characters are pretty decent, but they're pretty standard stock Star Wars characters. You know, there's nothing terribly original there. Different packaging. and it's well voice acted. I mean, I didn't realize that Freddie Prinze Jr. was the one of the main characters, voice actor, and he actually did a really good job. I didn't realize it was him till I went to IMDb, and the Hulk apparently didn't eat him.
Nice.
And what about Thor, the new Thor?
Oh, Thor, yeah. Sorry, I've got it sitting right here, and I totally forgot about it. I read Saturday was comic reading day. I had about 8 weeks worth of comics I hadn't read. It took me all day to read them. Highlights for Dave. There's a new version of Integrated Hulk. He's called Dr. Green.
Really?
What?
Yeah. Dr. Green. He's probably as smart, if not smarter, than Banner, but he's full-time Hulk.
And is he like the 6 feet taller than normal Hulk version of him?
He's probably a solid 8 foot tall.
Nice. Is this being written by people?
And he's got this weird mohawk thing. It's not like standing up. It's like a flat mohawk.
Now, I'm going to ask: is this actually Banner / Hulk?
It is Hulk with Banner's intellect.
Okay, but it's not Rick and it's not Ross.
No, it's not anybody else. It's the Banner's Hulk, super intelligent, but it's Hulk smart, not Banner and Hulk's body.
And is it being written by Peter David?
Don't think so. I should know this. Hold on. 1 second. Please stand by while Matt digs through his
While he's
streaky
looking
huge
for that, I got a new
pile.
phone too, by the way.
Yay!
I got it's the brand new Moto X.
What they call M8?
Leather back. It's very nice.
Are you liking it?
I love it actually. It's a really nice phone. It's about as pure of an Android experience as you can get, aside from the Nexus phones. But it actually adds some features that are actually pretty nice. It really expands on the hands-free voice activation. You can change the phrase, like usually it's "Okay Google now" and your phone starts up. But they expand like the amount of commands you have, and you can change that phrase to pretty much anything you want. I tried to set it to Aziz Light, but it was actually too short. Yeah, you need to have.
Draw your pronunciation and be like Aziz Light.
Well, that's what I thought of doing is repeating it twice, like Aziz Light. Aziz Light, and then, but I just like, no, that's just gonna get it.
Or why not
quick.
Aziz Light? Thank you, Aziz.
Yeah.
Or what's he say? Like, much better, Aziz. No, he says Aziz.
Much better, Aziz. No, you're right.
Much better, yeah.
I don't know how well this will come through, but I did this over like a couple weekends ago.
Ouch! I can fix it.
It looks like black hole. What?
Well, no, it's up in the corner. If you look, I dropped it and it shattered.
No. I just saw that.
Wow.
But the nice part is my upgrade is November 1st. So
Oh, okay, there you go.
Okay, so it's
I'm
too
not
bad.
far away, so yeah.
So what do you get? A new 6?
I'm gonna get just the 6, not the 6 Plus Grande
It's
Like-
huge.
Kid Kamehameha phablet.
Yeah, it's huge.
Oh.
I
love it.
There's a friend of mine that has one, and that thing is pretty big. Like this, the new Moto X is a 5.2 inch, which is kind of officially the biggest phone I've ever had. And I'm finding this kind of like the limit of where I want to go.
Yeah. I think the 6 size for me is big enough. Plus,
Yeah.
I want to go to 64 gig because they conveniently have no 32 gigs now. It's 16
Yeah, they got rid of
and
that.
64.
It was good and
Oh, that's
bad.
hilarious.
They should have just got rid of 16 and made it 32, 64, and 28.
Exactly it. I agree with you.
But they're just making people. They're making people spend money. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, you want something as bigger that's 16? Here's a 64.
for $100 more. Yay!
Hey.
All right,
Jerry Dugan.
No idea.
No. The art, which is a make or break for some people, the artist is Mark Bagley, which is a plus for me because I love his art. But
Yep, I love Bagley too.
I know some people despise him. So that was a good one. Scotty Young's Rocket Raccoon is still entertaining as all heck.
But you're not talking about Thor like you're supposed to.
I know, but Thor. So yeah. So Thor. We have Thor and Thor. this one was supposed to come out, or this one, excuse me, was supposed to come out way before. They ended up dropping on the same day. So Thor, God of Thunder, that was the series up before this one, written by Aaron. What the heck's his first name? James? Scott?
It's normally printed on the actual cover.
Well, Aaron is his last name. They've just gone to last name. They haven't put first name down anymore. Actually, let me open this one because they kept the same. What the heck? They kept the same artist through, or the same writer when they cut over the book. So, but it was an interesting premise because what it was is there were Thors from 3 eras. So the story took place over 3 eras. There was pre-Mjolnir drinking and whoring. Mew Mew, yes. Thor, and then there was Avengers current era Thor, and then there was King Thor from the end of time. And so all these stories took place over multiple. Jason, how could I forget that? Jason Aaron. So there was all the stories took place over these 3 periods. And it was very well written. It was often considered the heavy metal of comic books, not the heavy metal, the magazine heavy metal like. It was. And it was very well written, very well done. It had a very unique art style, as you can kind of tell from the cover. And it was sad to see it go, but now we have the mysterious masked female Thor, who we're not supposed to call Femme Thor or female Thor or she Thor. We're just supposed to call her Thor.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there is still a Thor because that's actually his name.
So does it make her Thorette?
No, she is Thor.
No, I know.
She had very few lines. She barely shows up in the comic at all, except for the last 2 pages. Actually, this page she's not even on. She's just talking, and then the page that she's actually on is just the last page. And the line is something to the effect of there will always be a Thor. There must always be a Thor, and picks up the hammer and goes. They imply very heavily who this is in this first issue. It's not stated outright. Personally, not super thrilled if that's who it's going to be, but I'll wait and see. Like I said, I'll wait and see how it works out. The artist is one I'm not familiar with.
Aunt Betty.
What?
No.
You mean Aunt May?
Aunt May.
Aunt May.
You said Aunt May.
Oh God, sorry.
It's definitely not Aunt May, but the artist.
We were talking about Hulk, so I went to Betty. Sorry.
Aunt Betty, yeah, that's the best.
Yeah, wow.
That brings a whole nother level to their relationship.
Oh dear. So they went away from having a penciler, inker, and they have a solo artist guy here, name of Russell Dauterman, colorist by Matthew Wilson. I'll admit I'm not familiar with either of them. So
did you like it?
Yes. It's a very different style. It's very much more a traditional comic style than God of Thunder was. But it's still very well drawn. The coloring is amazing, actually. The stuff they can do with colors these days with the digital coloring is just ridiculous. But it's a good book. It's interesting. Like I said, I don't want to say anything up front, but they do imply very heavily who it is, and if that's who it ends up being. Obviously, they have the mask on for a reason, so they're going to take their time telling us for sure. I'm sure they're going to wait on that.
Perfect.
But yeah, it's a good book, a good jump-on point. And I don't know if this is part of Marvel now year or if they're done with that whole malarkey yet. But
cool.
And this is post. That was one thing that annoyed me about this. The whole depowering of Thor didn't even happen in his own book. It happened at the end of Original Sin, which I thought was kind of crappy. But
all right,
that's what it is.
Well, lots of site stuff going on this week. We've got a interview with Mark McKenna, who is a illustrator from comics for the last 29 years, going up on the site. We're also adding a couple promo videos for the YouTube channel up as well. And then I also got into the crew beta this last week. And if you're not familiar with The Crew, it is a racing game that you play with your friends, and you form a crew with them, and you can complete missions together. And I maxed out the level and as far as they'd let me go in the story, and I locked my PlayStation up 3 times playing the beta. But I have to say that the game does not look fantastic, but it's a lot of fun to play. I was going to do a direct compare and contrast with Driveclub because it was supposed to be out yesterday, which by all accounts looks phenomenal, but plays okay to good. But it didn't come out yesterday. The retail came out yesterday, but the free PlayStation Plus version did not, because the people who paid for the game could not even connect to the servers, and so Sony decided to hold on to releasing the free PS Plus version until they worked out their server issues with the paid for game. So people, the reviews across the board seem to be in the 7.5 range out of 10. And so it seems to be okay, but from what I hear, there's no like story or real content other than racing the tracks. Whereas The Crew, you can drive across the entire United States. If you want to race from East Coast to West Coast, it is a 40-minute real-time race from one side to the other. And the interesting thing about Driveclub is that you don't get to make anything but superficial changes to the car, and The Crew you can actually do all these mini games to get better parts. Like for example, it may say drive the fastest speed you can, and you have to go between these gates, and you have to make it through as many gates as possible before your timer's up. And if you do this well, we'll give you a part that upgrades your braking by 9 steps. Or if you can slalom around these posts, the more you slalom around, you'll get a better part for speed or things like that. It's got a story slash single player, but you can actually play any single player mission you can actually do with friends, which is kind of cool. And the story is a little cliched, but it's at least a story, and it's got some interesting twists in it. So that's apparently it got pushed back till December now. After the beta, so they'll be doing another beta in November, which to me means that they're probably going to iron out a bunch of the kinks and then try and let everybody into this second beta so that they can see whether or not they want to buy the game. Been playing Mordor, and then last but not least, on Saturday and Sunday, I ran the raid in Destiny, and the Gamersledge clan successfully completed the raid in 9 hours and 42 minutes combined playtime. We got back together on Tuesday, and we did the raid in 2 hours. So a little bit better the second time. And other than that, I'm still playing it now that I did the raid stuff and I've got the raid gear. I want to get to level 30, and that's going to be pretty much where I think I'm going to put the game down and leave it for 6 months once I hit level 30, because I will have done everything that I wanted to do. But doing the video review of Shadows of Mordor, that should be coming up sometime here by early next week, I think. And
quick question: has anybody heard anything or played Alien Isolation that just came out yesterday?
So Daniel loves it. The reviews online there's no middle ground whatsoever. Either people love it or they absolutely hate it. And the real question is, how easily are you frustrated, I think. If you like going into an immersive world playing against an AI that is completely unpredictable, then that's good. Some people say that it's too hard and that the alien doesn't act realistically because it can kind of home in on you from anywhere. But then other people say that that's just part of the challenge. So it's kind of
Okay.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be one of those games that unless you get your hands on it, you're not going to be able to really form an opinion. But once you get your hands on it, you're either going to absolutely love it or absolutely think it's broken.
That's where I'm going to be torn because I'm going to want to buy a used version just in case.
Yep.
But I'm not going to get all that delicious add-on, with the wait, maybe not. I don't know about if someone returns a Nostromo edition. I should still be getting all the add-on stuff, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right.
So
okay, we'll see.
I know Daniel was going to pick it up. I'm not sure if he did or not. I know he's been playing a lot of Shadows of Mordor as well, and really enjoying
I was tempted to pick it up on the way home today, just on a whim. But I'm really nervous about the whole, because I kind of like the whole going back to Alien 1 scary aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I dig that idea, but I'm just a little nervous about the points that everybody was bringing up in reviews, that like if it doesn't quite make sense, or it just feels like the computer is kind of just seeing through like everything, and you can just track you no matter what. Like I could see that being real frustrating for me, especially when I have like a lot of other stuff to play right now.
Yeah, and especially with Spelunky just coming out on the PS4 for free. Pix the Cat
on Vita too, or no?
Yeah, it's cross-buy, so if you download the free PS4 version, you get the version for free on Vita and PS3.
That's awesome. It's such a great game. I freaking love Spelunky.
Yep. And
yeah, I'm gonna. That's like got to be like the first game that I wanted to play it. I didn't already buy right away.
There's so many hours spent on it.
Really excited about that.
Good job, by the way, for waiting.
Yeah.
So that came out. Pix the Cat, which its nostalgia mode draws everything in like a 1920s cartoon. I really want to check that out because I've heard good things about that as well. And then what was the other drop? It was the Xbox game. It was the 360 game that we never got on the PS3. Character with the tail.
Dustin Elysium Tale.
Yes, Dustin.
Oh, yeah.
Really want to play that. Heard really good things about it, so I've been looking forward to playing that as well.
Oh, and a neat little platformer called Chariot is for free on Xbox One right now, if you have Xbox Live or Gold, whatever. It's neat.
So I thought I'd share a quick bad story about Destiny, something that happened right before the raid. So I went on to do the raid on Saturday with everybody, and it wouldn't let me team up with anyone, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? And it said my PlayStation Plus had expired. And it did.
Oh.
I knew it was coming up, and I'd been looking for deals, and I just hadn't found any. So I'm like, all right, I'll just go ahead and pay for it, whatever. And so I used because when you're in Destiny, it says if you want to party up, press X to buy PlayStation Plus. So I pressed X, and I tried to do the purchase, and it said error, and it wouldn't let me join the fire team. And I'm like, all right, well, I guess it didn't go through. So I did it again.
5 years of
and
Plus.
It said error. I ended up buying 2. I caught it on the 3rd one. So now I'm good through October of 2016 on PlayStation Plus. You got your money, Tony. Good job. So yeah.
Just keep throwing up the error screen. Don't say confirm or anything. Just let them just get all the money now.
Let's see. Any news that anybody wants to talk about? I want to keep it kind of brief. We're coming in, doing all right on time. We've got a couple left. Didn't have time to get to the mailbag this week.
I have a little bit of news. If you, like many gamers out there, have needed to boost your performance by staying up super late, you might have drank a few energy drinks, including Red Bull. Well, if you did drink Red Bull, you're between some date and some date, huge gap, you're actually liable to get $10 back from Red Bull. They lost a case where I think they're saying it gives you wings, doesn't literally give you wings, and they lost that case. So anybody who has purchased anything from Red Bull between, I think it's 2004 and 2011, then you can actually get a free $10 back or $15 worth of Red Bull product. So the website is all over. You can find it and then just fill up soon, because I do believe they only have $13 million to give away, which seems like a lot, but a lot of people getting $10 all at once that could run up. So if you've drank Red Bull between then and I guess say now, then go get your $10. Yay!
So I've got two things to discuss. The first one is, Dave, I specifically omitted one thing off the drop because it got snuck in there at the last minute, and I didn't think you knew about it. But this Tuesday, Vib Ribbon launched for the PS3 and Vita.
Whoa! That slipped by me.
Yep. What did?
That was Vib Ribbon. So on the PS3, you can create levels based on your CD audio.
Oh.
Wow.
So, just FYI. So that's pretty slick. I don't know how it's going to work for the Vita, and they didn't elaborate.
So now, is this an all-new version of it, or is this an emulated version of the original?
This is the PS1 Classic.
Okay.
But I figured you did not see that, and I wanted to make sure that you knew about it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep, not a problem. The other thing I wanted to talk about is the Driveclub delay. So I feel bad for Evolution Studios, which is the developer behind this. They were also the developers behind MotorStorm, and as you may or may not be aware, their last game that got released was the one that had the level with the earthquake in Tokyo, and then there was an earthquake in Tokyo. So they had to delay putting the game out to the point that nobody cared about it anymore once it actually came out. So now they have Driveclub, which is decent from all the reviews, yet they have this huge... This was a game that was promised to PlayStation Plus subscribers at launch of the PlayStation 4. Is it right for people to feel upset about this? Because there's a lot of vitriol obviously on the internet, but specifically about this topic as well. What do you guys think?
Vitriol on the internet? I don't believe it.
I know, right?
This is one where I actually think it's kind of justified. When it didn't make launch, they should have just nixed the whole thing out the gate, or just say, okay, we'll worry about that later, and given the Plus subscribers something else. This dragging it out thing, and then, oh, hey, here's this great game you're going to get. Oh, but you're not going to get it till later. Oh, and you're only going to get 9 cars and 5 levels. Oh, and hey...
Yeah, one level.
Whatever. And you're, oh, hey, now you can pay, 5/6 of the price to get the whole game, which, okay, $10 off. I shouldn't snuff at $10, but $10.
Yeah, you should. Digital distribution, no middleman.
Yeah. But the deal just, as to quote Billy D. Williams, this deal just keeps getting worse. Well, Lando Calrissian technically, but the whole thing was just a kerfuffle, debacle, just a mess. And they should have just, once they realized it wasn't going to make launch, they just should have bailed on the plan, or just buried the plan, saved it for later, and not keep promising and changing the deal, or it probably never changed, but releasing what the actuality of it was.
Yeah, but you're still getting a game. I mean, perhaps you feel you're being treated unfairly?
Well, I think what the problem is you're getting 10% of the game and then being told you have to pay, 5/6 of the price to get the rest of it. I don't know. It seems disproportionate. I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't think it's a game that I'm going to love enough to put any money down. So I was like, oh, cool, it's free. That'll be fun. But at this point, I guess it's more just. I wouldn't say it's a misstep. Yeah, it's a misstep. It's just it was mishandled. I mean, it's a minor thing. It's not going to cause me to, never buy another Sony product ever again. But it is pretty shoddy the way it was handled.
See, what I'm interested in is that you're talking more about big picture things, and my original question, which I'm not saying that was a bad comment or insight, my original question was more about them not being able to support server structure on launch day, and then delaying this thing yet again, because
I was so surprised the Destiny launch went well. I was like, really? You can handle the Destiny launch, but we can't figure out how to launch Driveclub?
And you know, the PSN has not been in good shape for about the last week. Today it seems a lot better, but literally just to even pull up a message yesterday to message someone took 4 minutes. I am not exaggerating. I literally timed it. It took me 4 minutes to send an invite to someone and to pull up a message. Apparently the entire infrastructure was getting hammered because of Driveclub. Because everybody jumped on to check for their free copy of Driveclub, which you couldn't find anywhere. Oh, and pro tip. If you know today is a new launch of PSN software, like yesterday, Dustin Elysian Tale, etc., most people know that they don't update the front page of the store until like 5 p.m. Eastern time. But as soon as it's midnight Pacific time on Tuesday, you can actually search for the titles and download them immediatly.
Well, that's a nice little trick.
If you didn't know that, now you know.
Unfortunately, that's like 4, 3, and 2 a.m. respectively.
Well, I just did it first thing in the morning and went and downloaded them. So
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can. If you know the names of what it is, you got to do the search. But when you search it out, you'll find them and can download your free PS.
Well, that's probably a better way to get to it anyway, because they're doing the Xbox thing and hiding everything now.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, the store has gotten so bad. I don't know what they're thinking with that thing.
The old thing was so like. Right, here's the thing, like, if you want to go look at the new Plus drops, you think you go to the Plus section, right?
Nope.
So to this day, I mean, I just go to try and find an all software, drop down and just.
You can't even find that in the list anymore. To find a place where it just lists the thing is just so hard and cumbersome. I don't know.
They removed the downloads too.
No, it's there. It's way at the bottom of the list. They just moved where it is. You got to go all the way to the bottom of the main column.
I will look at that later then. But
it's awful. It's just like, hey.
Yeah, it sucks. Finding add-ons too, because like if a game's got
the PS3 one is awesome. The PS3 one is great. The PS4 has its own separate store where you don't see any of the PS3 or Vita stuff, and it's actually way worse than the PS3 version.
I don't know. The PS3 version's getting kind of crappy, where it's like, I'll use Dead or Alive as an example because I have this issue with it all the time. It's a game that has a lot of add-ons, like a lot of custom stuff to download. Frequently, they disappear. Like, it's like you have to go searching in the customers also bought this to find them, and it's just, why would you make it disappear at all? Like, and they've also moved the downloads, and it has gotten worse. So I don't know if they're kind of following a PS4 footprint now, but it's gotten crappier.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully it still doesn't take 27 minutes to load either.
Not 27, more like, but it does take a little while to load.
Yeah.
And it will just close for no reason on me, like all the time.
Yeah, it does that a lot. So did anyone, not to derail this conversation, are we over? Or do people
I don't know. Does anybody else have any other thoughts about this, the Driveclub delay?
My thing was, if you're going to delay it this far, like, it better be good and better be worth it, and it doesn't seem like they've done that. So,
do you guys think that people are entitled to getting more free content since they didn't deliver on what they promised they were going to do yesterday?
I don't know. Entitled and phony are sometimes like words that don't always go together. It's like, I'm entitled to free stuff isn't always true. With this, though, maybe, yeah, I don't know if they'd end up giving something. They'd probably end up apologizing by giving something that no one wants.
Sony's never done that.
They've given people more for less.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling there is going to be some kind of, little bonus coming our way.
I'd like some sort of PlayStation Store coupon. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I don't care at all about Driveclub. I wasn't going to play it.
Everybody's going to get free Hulks for Disney Infinity.
Yeah.
I'll take a free Hulk. Any other topics of discussion before we put this puppy to bed tonight?
I was just curious. One of the things that has been the weirdest vitriol, as long as we're talking about vitriol, things about the Vita and the PS4 has been that there was not themes in either of them. And that was partially rectified this past week with the dropping of the 3.3 Vita firmware, which I have not yet downloaded. So I was curious if anyone was really craving their themes and went right out and downloaded that firmware.
It's just a background. You can already do it. I mean, really, you can already replace the background with JPEG.
Right.
But so I mean, I'm not really.
Themes. The themes. If it's an actual theme in the way the others were themes, you could replace the system icons and change the little swipey noises and stuff. I don't know if that held true with the Vita or not.
I don't know either, but it's still going to be bubbles. So what's the point?
I like the bubbles.
There are ways, but I'd rather have the XMB, to be quite honest.
Fair enough.
But I mean, I'm more excited about the PS4 2.0 update, and they better slam a bunch of stuff that they hadn't announced up until this point in there. Otherwise, I think people are really going to start getting up in arms about, no media playback still this long after launch.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually do miss being able to play an MP3 or a video file. I can't even do a streaming. I used to actually stream from one of my computers to my PS3, use it as a media server so that I could stream stuff, and I can't even do that now on my PS4. So I kind of do miss some of those features. Themes are supposed to be coming in the 2.0 one also for the PS4. I don't really care about themes that much. I mean, it's cool. I miss my Persona theme that I had on my PS3, but it's not like a make or break for me.
Yeah. And the other one, the thing that we missed when we were talking about the free games was the one on the Vita that I'm really excited for, which actually apparently was a cross-buy with PS3 also, was Rainbow Moon.
Oh, yes.
And then also Dungeons & Dragons Chronicles of Mystaria. I'm assuming it's terrible, but hey, it's something
So this is the interesting thing. So there was a US version that was put out that was craptastic. And apparently in Europe, they saw that, in Japan, they saw that one released and said, no, that's crap, we're not going to release it in Japan like this. And they hired a third-party developer to come in and re-port the game. And supposedly that's the quote-unquote good version. And you know what this one is?
The crappy one?
Yeah.
Free game. Yeah.
But then they put Batman Arkham Asylum on there to balance things out with a game that everyone except me has played. So, yay.
Which you should do. By the way,
I have no excuses.
Yeah, I wanted to tell you, Turo, I know you're only an hour in. When you start unlocking the Tier 3 and Tier 4 powers for his combat set, it's amazing. I can literally murder people. It's fantastic. Just put that anywhere.
Yeah, that's fine. Just over there.
Keystone Cops action going on.
What I saw one of the videos was he took control of a bunch of captains and then just murdered them, just made their heads pop off, and then he went back to that whole captain area, and the whole first line of captains was like poof, 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 dead, dead, dead. I was like, that's pretty cool. That would take a lot of time, but that's pretty cool.
Yep. So
I'm excited. I know I'm going to spend a lot of time in this.
Final thoughts, Turo.
Skip the wedding, play lots of Shadow Mordor. Okay.
Yeah, that'll work out for you.
Wow. Denied.
It's just a final thought. Doesn't mean it's an action.
Dave, final thoughts.
I don't think Thor should piss off Amy Smart.
What?
So many people have confused her. He just said he called you Amy Smart.
Oh.
It's true. You look like Amy Smart. You do.
I know.
Oh, okay. I shouldn't piss off Amy Smart. That's what he said. It's funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was that your final thought, Dave?
No, final thought is basement's almost finished, so the game playing can start very soon.
Uh-huh.
So I'm very excited about that.
Uh-huh.
The not game playing, you mean?
Yeah.
No, it'll happen
Uh-huh.
because there's a lot of TV being watched that I don't want to watch this season. So.
Kate, final thoughts?
Well, more horror movies coming up, and Turo's totally not getting any tonight.
I better. She's making my dinner. Yeah. She doesn't know what you said.
No, I don't. What is it?
Nothing. Just making dinner.
Matt,
making
final
dinner.
thoughts?
We're saying Turo's a very lucky man.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Oh.
Oh, you heard that. That's Burgundy. He's awesome.
Oh.
Yeah, Matt, final thoughts.
Two other number ones that came out this last week and this month. We've got Guardians 3000, which goes back to the original Guardians of the
Nice.
Galaxy team.
Wow.
So that first
Wait.
issue is pretty solid.
Wait.
Wait.
I'm trying to figure out exactly where in the continuity that is, with Silver Surfer or without Silver Surfer.
Without.
Boo. All right, that's fine.
But it's not the way the premise is set up on this. It's not impossible that would change.
But it is Yondu.
Yes.
Fantastic.
The old blue quiver full of arrows Yondu. Yes.
Yeah.
And then the other one is this is terrible hard to do. Also by Jason Aaron, the same guy who is doing the Thor comics. It's Icon published, so it's Marvel's mature brand. It's called Men of Wrath. If you're into more kind of style comics, this one's a pretty good setup for the first issue. So it might be a wait for a trade, see how it turns out. But off of issue 1. I'm digging it. I've kind of gotten into the whole non-capes comic thing recently, so I avoided it for a really long time because it would mean I spend more money. But yeah, so 2 other number ones from this month that are worth paying attention to.
So my final thought for the week: Robert Downey Jr. did an AMA and Ask Me Anything on Reddit.
Oh, that is awesome.
And they actually asked him what TV show he would really like to be on. He answered Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but then said that it's going to be difficult because there's a lot of legal technicality, I guess.
What?
What would actually be in the way of all that?
Yeah, I don't understand that at all.
Probably the fact that he is only currently under contract to do Avengers movies now. So that would have to be a reworking of his contract or something along those lines to allow him to do it.
It's probably Screen Actors Guilds just mucking up with things that we can't
Oh, those jerks.
He also said, someone asked this in a different way, but I'm kind of telling you the result. He also said he really wants to be on Doctor Who. Thought it was amazing. And thought it is an amazing show. And then he also confirmed the 3rd Sherlock Holmes movie. And someone asked him what he thought of the BBC Sherlock. He said he loved it, and actually then posted a picture of him and
Cumberbatch.
Cumberbatch, and with the two of them pointing at each other, so it was kind of cute. And then my favorite question and answer of his, someone asked him what would he have on him if he was a pita, and he said he's been waiting his whole life to answer this, and said garlic, sausage, extra cheese, spinach, and mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought the extra cheese was good.
I love Reddit.
Yeah. That's going to do it for this week's Gamersledge podcast. Until next week, game on!
Yeah,
I'm not even saying game on this week because it just feels like I'm a fraud even saying that. So I'm just going to say watch on because that's all I did this week is watch stuff.
Watch on!
Game
Watch out.
on!